everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and welcome to the final round of the Great Film Throwback Project. Round 3, Part 1, is about to begin. But before we officially go over the rules and how we're going to take part in this final chapter of this project that I never would have imagined would have lasted for so long, and I am just so excited that we're finally getting down to this. We have now officially gotten 25 movies down to 15. That's right, guys. There were 5 movies that were in a bye round throughout round 2, and just to repeat, those movies were Apocalypse Now, A Clockwork Orange, Gone with the Wind, Full Metal Jacket, and North by Northwest. So now that these movies have officially gotten their breather, it's time for them to start sweating a little bit because they're back in. So, let's discuss what exactly moved on from the final part of round 2. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to the Deer Hunter and Network. And I was a little upset with having to do that because there were 2 specific movies that were voted on by a very small group of you this time around, which is why I had to deal with this. The ones that actually did end up making the cut were It's a Wonderful Life and JFK. But the one that ended up in the 3rd spot the most, it was a tie between The Magnificent Seven and Network, so I really didn't know what to do. So basically, I had to really think about it myself, and I really didn't want to dabble in this. This was really for the fans to help me out, but I just said, what do I want to see the most? So the reason why I chose The Magnificent Seven to move on is because of the fact that I am a big fan of the anime series Samurai 7. Before you start sending me your hate mail, I know that that is based on one of the greatest films of all time. That is Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. The only difference is this is a television series that takes place in a post-apocalyptic future, while the actual Kurosawa film takes place in ancient Japan. I was not as big of a fan of the movie as I was the anime series, but I know that The Magnificent Seven is an American version of Seven Samurai. Instead of samurai, it's cowboys. It's a great cast, including Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson, just to name a few, and I really want to see The Magnificent Seven, so I chose that movie over Network. Sorry for keeping you guys in suspense here. One more thing I want to mention before we discuss the rules of Round 3. I also want you guys to know that some of the movies that I actually listed in the original 50 have actually been seen. And sometime or other, I may in fact, just as a bonus, when the Great Film Throwback Project winners are actually reviewed, I will probably just give a shout out in regards to some of those movies that I asked you guys to choose for me, and I'll let you know just a brief review on how they were. Because I've already seen, I think, maybe 4 of them, and I definitely have some really good things to say. Okay, deep breath. Round 3, Part 1 is about to begin. So now we're down to 15 films, which means there's going to be 3 parts of Round 3. And once again, you're going to take a look at the 5 films that I have chosen. All you got to do, in the comments below, which movie do you think is not worth seeing the most out of the 5 that I will mention? 1 will be eliminated in each round. And it's your job to let me know which is the worst of the 5. So once again, just to be clear, I will announce 5 movies in each of the 3 parts of Round 3. Your job is to post in the comment box below, this movie, such and such, is the worst of the 5. You can save it for another time around. That's all we gotta do. When we're finished with Round 3, the 12 winners will be remaining, and I will announce them in the final episode of the Great Film Throwback Project. So let's begin, guys, with the 5 nominees of Round 3, Part 1. Apocalypse Now, 1979. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola. A Clockwork Orange, 1971. Directed by Stanley Kubrick. American Beauty, 1999. Directed by Sam Mendes. Midnight Cowboy, 1969, directed by John Schlesinger. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966, directed by Sergio Leone. Those are your 5 films, guys. Out of those 5, which is the one that you feel is not worth seeing right now? And put that in the box below. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for round 3, part 2.